What's up, everybody? It's Stupidest, and today we are talking about Mutahar again because he finally apologized. He took accountability for his mistakes. He really came out swinging. He really is turning over a new leaf, and it's over something that's really, really important and definitely not something stupid like telling people for months not to buy a Switch 2 on release and then immediately turning around, buying it on release, getting a bunch of shit for the game, spending well over $700, and then proceeding to milk it as hard as possible, dropping videos day by day, if not multiple videos a day. Oh wait, no, that's exactly what he did. So Mutahar was one of these people who was actively telling his audience not to buy the Switch 2 on release because of the anti-consumer practices that Nintendo was doing. I am in full agreement with that. I didn't buy a Switch 2 on release. I'm not gonna buy one for at least a year, if not longer. I'm hoping someone trades one in to my local store or to GameStop, and then I can buy it at a discount. And I'm probably gonna trade in a bunch of stuff if I'm gonna get it, because again, it's expensive and it's backwards compatible, but I have my issues with it, mainly that the new games, the physical copies aren't actually physical copies, and I'm somebody who likes to have physical editions of the game. It takes up less space and I can trade them in when I get tired of them, you know. I'm all about saving money, you know? So I was with this idea online of people basically saying, you know, protest, speak with your wallets, and people did speak with their wallets. All these people that said don't buy it day one turned around and bought it, Mutahar included, and it was so ridiculous that Charlie, Moist Critical, our Father in heaven, descended from the clouds to make fun of these fucking morons, and honestly, I can't agree more. Let me run this clip real quick.
And right now, there was a huge push against the Nintendo Switch 2 for a lot of bad business practices, and people were talking about how they're definitely not buying it this time around, they don't want to support it. And I'm sure you can already guess chapter 2 of this story here, the climax. The Nintendo Switch 2 releases, and that shit has been gobbled up like a bowl of cereal by a ton of people that were very outspoken against the Switch 2 and talking about like they won't be purchasing it, which was all very easy to say before it was available. But now that it's here, they have jumped on that opportunity to own one enthusiastically and are playing it furiously and enjoying it too. I didn't expect the Switch 2 to flop. It was very predictable that everyone that was rallying against it was going to inevitably purchase it, because this is like clockwork. It happens all the time in gaming. It was always going to be a super success, and I talked about that numerous times over my coverage of Nintendo and everything that's been going on there recently. So I'm not surprised. I'm not angry or anything either. I just find it very silly.
If you're going to take the time out of your day to record multiple videos telling people why it's a bad idea to buy the Switch 2, stand on business. Mutahar is incapable of doing that. He has always been a flip-floppy, snaky little fence sitter, because anytime he's actually had to take accountability for something or had to apologize for something, he deleted the video or he came up with a bunch of fucking excuses as to why he's not actually in the wrong. And the same thing happened here with the Switch 2. He actually apologized, which is great, but a video that should have been 2 to 4 minutes ended up being 11 because he justified being a fucking Nintendo cult member. I've been playing it since I was like 7 years old, like most of us, I'm sure. We're all Nintendo kids. But I didn't feel compelled to buy a console because it's so fucking expensive. I'm in the camp of the console is $450, the games are $80, $60 to $80. That's too fucking much. There's not that much stuff on release. There was no reason to buy it day one. So I was okay with that movement. I didn't realize how many people who were going to sit here and preach about how you shouldn't buy it day one would immediately turn around and buy it. So Charlie made fun of this. A lot of the comments mentioned Mutahar because he's highly visible and he's one of these people that were the champions of this movement. And that's, I think, the only real reason why he made the apology, is because Charlie made a video dunking on fuckers like him. So here are some snips from the video that Mutahar made.
I ended up buying that Nintendo Switch 2, even though I said that I was going to hold off. I wasn't just going to go buy it outright. And there I was, going on a midnight release, and I ended up picking it, you know, just on a walk-in. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, there's no way to sugarcoat or cut around this. I did, in fact, commit a hypocrisy. I made a mistake. I should have not bought this product. Now, I made a few videos on the Switch 2. Well, not a few, several. I didn't practice what I preached, you know? I said, you should vote with your wallet, and what did I do? I straight up charged my card and got the Switch 2.
So I think it's obviously bullshit for a lot of reasons. The conspiracy brain part of me wants to say that I don't even think that his claim that he just went into the store and they happened to have some in stock is true. I think he pre-ordered it and he was planning on getting it day one anyway, because he can't keep his grubby little fucking hands off of Nintendo products to save his fucking life. I don't see why he needed to be the one to buy it instead of asking one of his friends who bought it who weren't a part of his little movement. Like, there were ways around him having to go and physically buy the console himself. But But on top of that, it's annoying because this entire video is just 11 minutes of him groveling and making stupid excuses. He doesn't say or do anything to make it better other than just, I'll do better next time, guys, my bad. When the correct answer would at least be selling the console, trading the console, doing a giveaway for his subscribers. Like, he shouldn't be keeping it if he's gonna sit here and be like, yeah, y'all are right, I shouldn't have turned around and done this, that was my mistake. Don't keep the fucking console. But he can't help it. He's such a greedy little fuck. He's such a cringe little Nintendo soy boy. He has to keep the game console so he can keep playing his fucking games. Like, honestly, it's so cringe to think that this is an adult man who could not fight the temptation to buy a children's console long enough to stand on business. Like, he can't stand by his convictions, let alone for something like this. My favorite response to this was a comment somebody left that said he folded under zero pressure. Like, this is not something that should have been controversial. This is not something that warranted an apology video. This is something that should have just been a my bad. But honestly, we aren't talking morals and ethics beyond, again, children's video games. Overpriced and anti-consumer, but really not that big of a deal. So for him to come out and make an 11-minute video that he won't delete, like the Nux Taku video, is crazy. Like, he hasn't apologized to Tommy C for what he said and did to Tommy C, stabbing him in the back. He hasn't really taken accountability for anything, and anytime he might have apologized, he's deleted it, he's removed it, or he doesn't acknowledge it. With this situation, he literally only said anything because of Charlie's video. I'm glad that his community actually had the wherewithal to criticize him and come after him for being a fucking moron about this whole Switch 2 thing, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying because all these people are sitting here like, you shut the fuck up, you fucking moron, you hypocrite bitch. They turn around and they're all watching his next video and it's like nothing ever happened. So I think obviously I'm annoyed by it because it's like, Muta, it's not that deep and you're turning this nothing into a huge issue and you're not even dealing with it properly. All you had to do was say, you're right, my bad. I won't tell you guys what to buy and not buy in the future. He didn't have to say anything. If you can't stand by what you're telling people on something as simple as a Nintendo Switch console, don't talk to people about your politics, about your beliefs, about your morals. Nobody gives a shit because you're the guy who can't even stand by not buying an overpriced console after telling people not to buy it. Like, oh, he's a false prophet, gamers. All that being said, I think the thing that annoyed me the most with this apology was that he tried to downplay it too. Let me run this clip for you real quick and then I promise I'll stop ranting about it.
And to be fair, the biggest sigh of relief for me is to sit over here and apologize for purchasing a video game system, right? There's a lot of things that a YouTuber can do that would be very illegal, very wrong, ethically, not even just legally, that I could sit down here and apologize for. And that is the only thing that I've really thanked God today for not doing. You know, I could apologize for far more worse, but, you know, realistically, it's just apologizing for purchasing the system that, you know, I kind of made a big hullabaloo about, right? Now, do I think that I'm the most evil person in the world? No, I don't think that. And I don't even see really anybody saying that. But as far as being hypocritical and bad for gaming, I can definitely see how I've contributed to that. And for that, I just really humbly apologize. I could be apologizing for, like, as a YouTuber, there's apology videos that I've watched through my career where people have done really terrible things. And ultimately, this might be one of the worst things that I've done, which genuinely is support bad game practices and, you know, not practice what I preach.
I don't know what possessed him to sit here and try and justify buying the console by saying, I didn't kill anyone, I didn't assault anyone, I'm not that bad of a guy. Like, stop sitting here acting like a little bitch. Saying that to me just proves you didn't even want to apologize. You didn't even want to take accountability for this. You're sitting here trying to act like what you did wasn't that big of a deal. Honey, it's YouTube. None of it's that big of a deal unless you're committing a crime. So to sit here and make this video apologizing for your transgressions only to turn around and be like, at least I'm not a convicted murderer. Don't apologize. Like, doing that says to me and most people in your audience, you don't actually care about what you're saying. You don't feel bad about what you did. You're just apologizing to get people off your ass so you can keep playing Mario Kart and Cyberpunk on your fucking Switch 2 that you told everybody else not to buy. Ugh, I don't know why people behave like this. I don't think I'll ever understand why Mutahar behaves like this. But it's just yet another example of why nobody should be watching this guy. No one should listen to a damn thing that he says. And any backlash he gets in the future, he deserves. Karma's a bitch, and hopefully it comes for him sooner rather than later, because I don't think I've ever seen a better example of somebody being this weird flip-floppy, fence-sitting, cringe little weasel in the way that Mutahar has been behaving for the last, 6 months to a year. But all that being said, if you want a Switch 2, go buy yourself a Switch 2. I won't, because I don't feel like spending that much money on a console that I don't need. I still have a backlog of Switch 1 games I need to play through anyway. My OLED works just fine. And when I do buy one, I will let y'all know. But until then, do what you want. You know what? Do whatever the fuck you want with your money. It's your life. Don't let somebody talk you into a movement that they're not going to back up. That's all I had to say about that. Mutahar, fuck you, you Weasley little liar. And I'll see you guys in the next one.